Okay, so so we are live for episode 6 of the Beats and Gear podcast. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Low Heat. And of course, as always, I have my guest here, my friend Mehdi from Italy.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, bro. So when we're doing a podcast, they have lockdown in Italy. So if you're wondering if they have a lockdown, they have the lockdown now. And my friend Mehdi, he's not so busy now, so we can nerd about synths a little. And on the previous podcasts, we've been talking a lot about stuff, about random stuff, just talking. And he was always like, bro, let's tweak some synths, man. Let's do some synth actions. Let's play some synths. And I was like, sure. And I've been hearing a lot about Vital, the new kit on the block, basically in terms of high quality synthesizers in plugin format. And I really wanted to check it out, but I haven't had the time actually. And you have actually played with it, around with it. How long have you had it?
I mean, I downloaded as soon as it was out because Matt already made another synth which was called Helm back in the days, but it was pretty, not really easy to to grasp into. And now it's Vital. I immediately downloaded it, and it was really, really easy. Like the GUI was really simple to use. So yeah, I had some time with it. It was 1 month ago, but then only last week I just played with it a little bit more, and I made a lot of tracks this week only with it. So yeah, it was a cool thing to show the plugins to the people because it really deserves that.
And that's totally true. I've actually used Helm. It was it was pretty outstanding actually for a free plugin. Because free plugins, unless they come from like some big company, they're often not as good as in some way. Like they may have great sound quality, but maybe quite often the GUI is the problem, as far as I can tell. Like to have a really, really high quality graphical user interface, you need, I don't know, I guess you need more resources than what they can spare for a free plugin. But talking about Vital, which is this developer's next plugin, a lot of people have actually, it's like people consider it the serum killer.
Yeah.
People consider it the serum killer. And one question I wanted to ask you before we go on with the synth, do you think Vital is the type of synth that's like made for EDM and stuff?
I think it's a big understatement because it can do pretty much everything. You can use it for really heavy sound design, film scoring, everything. So yeah, I wouldn't tie it to EDM. Just for example, the Silent one was, the Spire synthesizer was, because it's not only digital sounding. You can do pretty much everything with it.
And that's good to know. That's good to know because a lot of these wavetable synths, I think it's something to do with the technology of how they work. They sound pretty cold and digital, which is not necessarily bad. But it is what it is, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You're true.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, because with Serum, I feel like part of its success was because the developer is like a well-known person in the industry, Steve Duda, and it was heavily endorsed by Deadmau5, which is like a celebrity. So I think this helped the synth. Of course, it's a pretty decent synth. I'm not saying it's like it doesn't deserve it. But I think part of the reason why it got so famous was because there were some high-profile people behind it. Even though it's an independent developer, it's not from Native Instruments or Isotope or something.
I think that one was supposed to replace Massive, at that time. And then, Native Instruments came out with the Massive X, just as a reply to that synth.
And dude, like Massive X, Massive X is the same. Like it's super high quality sound, super organic. I think it's kind of similar, but the user interface it's kind of confusing. And from what I've seen from Vital, the user interface is pretty nice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so let me share my screen and just go through the website of Vital. So Vital, what I notice about it is that the features that they actually advertise it with, they're kind of features for advanced users, man. Like these are not like something that a beginner may actually understand, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, you. I don't want to say you're right, but it's not the easiest synth you ever played with. Obviously, when you think about the easiest synth, would be the the Moog. And that's it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So simple, it makes great sounds. This is not one of them, but I think when you get the grasp on how it does sound design, then it's gonna be really like powerful.
Yeah, but you see, like the thing they put on focus is the quality of the oscillators. That there is no aliasing. I'm not sure where it was actually on the website. Is this the right thing I'm looking at? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the website. I think you searching for the press kit.
Yeah, so maybe I'm looking for the press kit, man. That's
maybe I don't remember.
That's true. Nah, that's not one. Because I think I saw different information on the website yesterday. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, like super high quality oscillators, and you have this pitch oscillator thing.
Yeah.
Custom LFO shapes, get deep into modulation. What else? It's super visual.
Yes.
And everything is super animated with smooth animation. Doesn't this smooth animation actually put load on your computer? Because it says GPU optimized. I don't know what that means, to be honest. But
I didn't, kill my CPU. Only when I use the 2x, anti-aliasing, oversampling. But other than that, was pretty much light synth.
Yeah, but I feel like it's very, for very advanced users. Can actually a beginner get something out of this synth? What do you think? Because I don't think it's super aimed at using presets. Because there's something that we need to pay attention to on the bottom. So the synth is free. But I feel like it's not your regular free synth. I think it's just a new business model for trying to get people to support the synth financially. Because, if you don't get like super heavy copyright protection, people are going to pirate it anyways, like they do with Serum all the time. And I think that what the developer has done here, you have the basic version, which is free, like totally free, nothing to pay, and it's full functionality, right? Is that correct? It works.
It's the full synth, like
Exactly. However, you only get 75 presets, which in 2021, 75 presets sounds like nothing. But actually, if they're decent and if they do the job, that you can.
That's true for the basic version, but I want to just add that you can find some free presets on the internet. And,
I saw that.
Yeah, a lot of them actually.
I saw that. But yeah.
But I think it's a pretty cool thing because they then, like, for me, I tried the whole synth. I did some sounds with it. I don't have them because I did it in the studio, but it was pretty cool to use that. And I'm, really thinking about upgrading to the Pro, just not for the presets, but for just, a support for the developer. So
yeah, that's great. That's I mean, he would surely appreciate that if you do that.
Yeah, sure.
Because I guess like one developer to support such a complex project, I think it's a lot of work, to say the least. I mean,
yes,
crazy stuff. But yeah, before we begin exploring Vital, let me just shout out the people in the chat that are chatting. Shout out to Thousand Memories, to the Epic Redstoner, to Patron Mazaka. What up, guys? So super grateful that you're watching the stream. Super nice to see you here. And what else was I gonna ask? I was going to ask you about Vital. Did it say is it heavy on the CPU? How is that?
Kind of. It depends on how many things you use from the VST. For example, there's a reverb, there's a delay, there's all the effects, and when you stack them, and plus you put oversampling, which is the most CPU intensive thing of this synth, then it can be heavy. But other than that, yeah. No.
Yeah, dude. Like there we go. I found the feature lead that I was looking for. Sorry if I interrupted you, but high quality oscillators with sharp cutoff at Nyquist for almost no aliasing. Again, that's something that an advanced user would consider. Like beginners wouldn't even know what that is. Efficient unison. There are some clever optimizations to keep the oscillators easy on your CPU, so don't be afraid to crank up the unison. And that's something I didn't like about Wavetable, dude, because when you enable the unison, it's very likely to get crackles. I mean, it depends on what's going on in the project, but Wavetable is exactly the opposite. When you activate the unison, you get crackles. Like, depending on your computer, of course, but microtonal, again, super advanced feature, like if you're Aphex Twin or something. MPE support.
That's
again,
a really cool one.
Again, that's something that is becoming more and more common with synths and with DAWs.
And it's not I want to mention, it's not just like only the pitch and maybe the mod wheel for the MPE. They just implemented the pressure, the slide, everything like Equator basically.
Yeah, that's great. That's another one that I've been meaning to review because I got it. Rolly sent it to me, and I haven't really explored it enough to do a review. But I feel like Equator is kind of similar to this one actually. Maybe it has even more features because it has even you can even load samples. But I don't know. We'll look at that.
You can load samples with Vital,
sure,
actually.
and then I feel like it's pretty similar. Audio rate modulation, again, this is something that the Sonic State crowd would appreciate, the synth nerds. Key track.
This is really cool.
Yeah, so this means that you can control the speed of the LFO depending on how high or low the note you're playing. So
exactly.
Cool. I think it's time to go over to your computer before to look at this synth.
Let's go. Can you see the screen?
Yep, we can totally see that screen.
Perfect. So here we have
let's
Vital.
Let's discuss the GUI first. It's kind of gray, pretty functional, I think.
Not pretty cool actually. As you can see, you have 4 different pages. You have the voice, which is basically the oscillators and the modulation, like envelopes, LFOs, and some pretty cool stuff in here. Then you have the filters. Here you have four oscillators, and one of them is it can be sample, so you can drag your sample here and use them. Then you have the whole effects page, which is kind of amazing.
That's what I was about to ask. How are the effects on this synth? Because I know a lot of modern synths, they rely a lot on the effects to get an impressive sound. Because especially if you want to sell the synth, you need to have high quality effects because people are not easily impressed by the dry sound. And that's why a lot of the presets are often washed with effects. That's what I noticed with Equator actually. A lot of the presets were drowned in reverb and delay, but it still sounded pretty convincing when you remove the effects. So that's something important. What is the case here?
I mean, for the presets, they used a lot of effects, and I don't really like that, as you said, because they're pretty unusable. Maybe it's because that we are doing some funky stuff, so probably that's the problem. Like usually reverb delays and all of that kills the groove of the stuff. So that might be our problem with the effects. I don't think like somebody that does ambient have anything to do with reverbs and heavy delays on that. But we are on the opposite side, so maybe that's our problem. But no, I think the thing that convinced me the most about this synth is not the effects, is not oscillators per se. I mean, you can load wavetable, so you can basically emulate any single wave that Moog will sound like, everything. And then you have, if you're not convinced either, you can use samples and loop them. So that's pretty much the reality here.
So the analog waves are great sounding, is that correct?
Kind of, because the thing that you have here, I tried them, they're more on the digital side. So then you can obviously import yours, which I didn't do here because I'm not on my main PC. But on my main PC, I already have every other wave that I used on the other synth. So
because I've actually noticed that, for example, Serum, it has waveforms from the base station too, and I'm pretty sure that they've licensed this because you can't really use like waveforms from another synth to add to your synth.
Yes.
So is that the case here? Do they have some waveforms from an actual like Moog or Prophet or something? I know this is not what this synth is about, but
I didn't check. Oh, that's
they have
a
the
CS80.
Yeah.
So let me see. Juno. So okay.
So I think they've done the.
They have the mini Moog.
I think they've done pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. So just walk us through the interface a bit, and let's hear some sounds after we're done with that. Because
sure.
Because people are probably like eager to hear how this sounds.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, basically, as I was saying, there's the effects page, and then there's the matrix. Here are the really crazy stuff, and the advanced, which is basically, you have the unison, some other stuff. There's a unison for every oscillator, which is really cool. And you can basically, let's crank up the unison, and you can see that you can basically spread the table and the other two parameters that are here. So it's a pretty advanced unison, I would say. And then the oversampling stuff, they can go really, really high, like 8x. So that's cool for digital synth. Like if you need to do some really high pitched stuff, that's gonna really enhance the sound because it doesn't sound harsh.
And what about the modulation section? What do we have? We have 3 envelopes.
I need to use something on something else. Let's use this. So you have this is the matrix for example, and I've let's see what. So okay, you see the modulation, right? What you can do with the matrix, you see there's it's like that's a really advanced feature. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's just like this is how the modulation modulate the parameter. So you see, that's the curve, but you can do like these and paint.
Right, dude. That's super. Like I get why you're saying that it's really complex. Now I get what you mean. Like this is some next level. This is some next level stuff. But okay,
exactly.
so we got 3 envelopes, 4 LFOs, and this random.
No, that's not true. You got 8 envelopes and 8 LFOs.
Oh, right.
Let you see this.
I just wanted to hear some presets before we go in depth with. Okay. Oh, wow.
Okay. So you got 8 of them, and the same is.
And that's really clever, actually, that they appear, because that's super clever. Because if they were available all the time, the interface would get kind of confusing.
Exactly. So that's why I said, like, it's not really to me, it's like if it was paid, I would pay for it easily.
Totally. And as the epic Redstoner says, Vital is basically unpiratable. Unpiratable. You can't pirate it because it's
exactly
because like the stuff that you get, that the paid part of it, you can't pirate it. You need to have the subscription. So
Exactly.
Okay, man. So let's hear some presets now. And how about we start with some? Do we have like a filter for different types of presets so we can,
Yes,
for example?
we have. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Let's hear some keys first. Let's hear some keys.
Sure. How's the volume, by the way? Is it too
Excellent. No, it's great.
high? Okay. So yeah, as you can see, like when you play the keys, it's kind of heavy on the CPU.
Yeah, because you're playing chords. Exactly.
Exactly. But
Exactly.
if you do 1x draft.
Yeah, let's work with the draft mode so we don't get clicks and pops.
I think it changed with the presets,
Oh,
if I'm not
okay.
mistaken. Yeah, it changed with the
Oh,
presets.
okay.
So that's something I would probably, you know me, I always email the guys. So I'll probably tell him, you know, make the oversampling global.
Independent from the preset, so you can.
Maybe it could be done, but I don't know at this point because I didn't get too much into that.
I mean, that was the point of the stream.
Video.
It's exploring Vital. We don't pretend to know everything about it.
Exactly.
And
plus another thing that it could be improved is like, do you know Diva Repro? Now you have Repro, and what they do is like they spread every voice on a single CPU. So that's gonna be really light on the whole system because, as you know, Ableton just put all the loads of every channel on a single core.
That's true. That's true.
So Diva and the whole UE system, they just spread the voice. Cause that's a really cool trick. Cool. Maybe they can do the same.
Cool. Let's play some more presets. Wow, nice one. I have one. There's one that caught my. How about lo-fi keys? It's down there on the bottom of the screen. How does that sound?
Okay, let's see.
Not bad, man. Not bad. Let's play a couple more before we get to the next category.
It's pretty heavy on the CPU.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if it's the... Yeah, it is. Especially crashing the CPU.
Nah, generally I feel it's not at all light on the CPU, man. But you can't expect to have something that sounds, to quote you, outstanding and be light on the CPU. Like that's kind of...
Yeah.
Hard to do.
I'm on a laptop and in my house. It's not really made for music, so yeah, that's the problem.
No worries.
Let me see. Let's try some pads, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, man.
See, that's the kind of vibe that I had with this synth. Is really unexpected sound. For example,
that's a preset from Mr. Bill, as far as I can see. And
exactly, that's
and
what I
there,
wanted
and there's one that has your name. Is it from the synth or did you make it? Not sure.
I just made it today.
But they should include some of yours as well, I think.
Yeah, I have some pretty cool stuff in the studio, but right now I just made this one today for fun.
Cool.
And it's using a pretty cool feature that I'm gonna show later. But yeah, this is the... So what you can do, I already mapped it. So it was kind of fun.
Dude, that was great. So this is the type of the type of preset where you press one key and the whole song starts playing.
Exactly. There's a lot of them actually here. Because there's so many possibility in this scene that, you know, doing normal synth is kind of boring. But I know there's some people doing these kind of preset, really useful ones. So yeah, for example. You know, these kind of.
So that's called 808.
Yeah, it's not really an 808.
That's my gripe with people. Like, it seems nowadays everything is an 808. Like
just bass / 808.
This one has nothing to do with an 808.
Exactly.
Like it's just it's pretty cool actually. But it's not an 808.
This for example, this SNFK, Vital Essential, those are 3 volumes of really useful sounds. Like, you can actually use them in your production because they're really cool. They're simple. They cut through the mix.
And that's super important to have such simple sounds. But I can tell even from the Zoom sharing that actually the oscillators sound super clean, man. Like, I don't know, there's something about the sound that's super clean, but not in an annoyingly digital way. It's just so natural sounding. I like it.
Yes, that's why I told you, like, it's not an analog synth per se, but it can sound really interesting, and I usually don't find a lot of, this kind of synths that sounds cool, but and they're not analog, because this is really precise. But you can do some cool stuff. It's like, for example, the additive synth. You know, they sound really digital, but they're cool. Like
exactly. No, totally.
They sound cool. You know. And for example, this is some pretty cool additive synthesis that you can do here, and this is one of the samples. I think you can hear a lot of crackles.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe you can turn off some other stuff that you have on the project loaded, because you have some others. I think these contribute to the to the crackling, and maybe because these are maybe processing your voice, but maybe the ones that are the other synths, maybe you can just delete them for now, because we can load them if we need them at some point.
Sure, let's try. But as you can see, with the new live meters.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a heavy synth. So people that have crappy computers, that's not for a crappy computer.
It's not for them. Yeah.
That's something that's you need a good processor and
exactly. Yeah.
And let me just rant a bit about people thinking that it's all about the RAM. No, it's not about the RAM. It's about the processor. If you're having crackles, I see this on Facebook. Sorry if I'm ranting a bit, but I see this on Facebook groups like every day, dudes. I have CPU problems, and people say, buy more RAM, but that makes zero sense. I don't know if there's some, I don't know what the reason for that is.
That is one only correlation in Windows most of the times, because Mac are dual channel, a lot of them, and it's when you have one single slot for laptops.
Yeah, I'm talking in general, man. Of course. People don't know enough about this stuff. But anyways, man, let's hear some more stuff.
Yeah. I think the Mr. Bill presets are one of the best. Obviously, he's amazing.
Yeah, sure.
Shout out to Mr. Bill, right?
Totally. I'm a regular listener of his podcast. I actually learned about Vital from his podcast. He had the developer as a guest on the Mr. Bill's podcast, and they discussed it like in super detailed. Yeah. So maybe if people are interested in hearing what this guy has to say, they can.
Let's see. I don't remember what kind of preset he made, but I know it's really cool. So as you can see, it sounds really, really interesting.
Exactly, like there is something about it's not like your regular preset. It sounds really vibey. Shout out to Floating Anarchy, by the way. He's saying that, it's not an 808. It's a great mid-range bass. Is this from the basic preset? Is this from the basic presets?
No, but it's from the free presets.
Okay.
Maybe we can add the link later in description. It's from the SNFK Vital Essential. They have 3 volumes actually. Pretty cool sounds. Check them out.
But is this something? Is this a third party preset pack?
Third party, yes.
So it's not on the website.
No.
Okay.
But as you can see, like when they have cool synths, then after a while, other sound designers are gonna, upload their sounds for free most of the time.
Dude, I feel like this one, because it was announced like towards the end of last year, I think October or November, and I think this will gather a lot of attention and it will become one of the all-time great synths that everyone uses. That's my prediction for it.
I really hope so, to be honest, because it deserved that a lot.
But there's something quite difficult about this, because people are swamped with synths, dudes. And when I hear about a new synth, I'm like, not another one. Like, I've got so many synths. But so you need to provide something really new and exciting for people to even bother checking your synth.
And I think the GUI is one of the most important thing, because back then I didn't realize how important is the GUI in a synth. And when I got into hardware synthesizer, then you understand why the Moog was so popular. It was layout pretty simple, that was easy to do. And then what do you know, like even the base station, it's pretty simple, pretty simple layout. And with this digital synth that you can do a lot of stuff, it's a challenge to make them simple to use.
Exactly, that's quite true. I actually really like the base station more than the Moog in terms of layout and in terms of how it's organized. But that's just...
Don't say how it sounds, because then some people are gonna get angry.
It's different. I feel like they are so different. Like they sound super different. But let's hear some...
I like the base station more than the...
I know. You're a Moog hater. I will...
already.
I know that. Let's go on listening to these awesome sounds. That's insane, dude. What? Wow, dude. Can you play it once again? That sounded crazy.
That's why I told you about the samples and how they play. It's so cool. Like, I really like this synth, as you can see.
Super cinematic.
Yeah.
Dope stuff. I mean, sounds super dope. This one has so much reverb, so much like it. Dude, it's
For us,
swamped
it's
in reverb.
unusable. It's unusable, yeah.
Nah, I can use that for depends, but yeah, like
Yeah.
so much reverb, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Man, beautiful sounds.
Yeah.
And it's not. I like the fact that I didn't hear any super IDM-y sounds. I don't know. They're kind of unique. and
Cinematic.
Cinematic. I
yeah.
think it's
You
a
said
more.
the
It's,
right word.
yeah,
before,
it's a good description. Totally, man. Totally.
Let's hear some harder stuff. I'm sorry about the CPU. Let me see if I can raise up the...
Yeah, you can raise up the buffer.
Man, it's already 5. The big
Oh,
problem
no,
is...
you can't.
I mean, it's cool. I hope it doesn't break the audio. Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Can you still hear the
Yeah,
high
of
tone?
course.
That's perfect. Didn't break anything. That's amazing.
Nah, of course, man. No worries.
So let's try some other stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. Those are the ones that I don't really like. So as you can see, there are a lot of this kind of dubstep-y sound.
Right.
Because I don't know the other sound designer. Seems like a good one.
Wow. This one sounds very impressive, actually. Even though it's, yeah.
For me, it's like when I played this scene for the first time, it really reminded me of Zebra from Huey also. Zebra is a bit more intricate, even more difficult to use than this. So this was kind of a relief for my eyes because Zebra is impossible. But yeah, I think it sounds really good too. I really cannot play with this more keyboard.
Nah, it sounds awesome, man. No worries for the...
What I really like is the expression of some of these sounds.
By the way, I think if you stop your camera from zoom, the clicking will disappear. I'm pretty convinced about that. But then again, we will not be able to see your colorful your colorful
Yeah.
shot. So
Yeah, probably it's because yeah, unfortunately, it's the CPU that's doing the video work too. Maybe it's the Vital too that is really.
I
pretty
think
handy and-
yeah, because do you have an integrated
I have
GPU?
both.
You have both.
It doesn't switch with some programs. So
So I think that's probably the reason
Yeah.
why. So maybe we can explore some maybe tweak the synth a bit, maybe explore some sounds from scratch, and they will not have
Yes.
so many effects, and they will not overload the CPU. I really
Sure.
like that it's easy to initialize the preset. There are some synths that to initialize a preset, I don't know, they make it so difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you have you experienced that? Like maybe, I don't know. I feel it's super important to be able to get the basic saw wave easily.
It
so we can
is,
start
yeah,
tweaking.
yeah. It is.
Okay.
I feel like the best ones are obviously the U-heap because you have the different presets to start. Like you can have Moog start for Diva, for example, Moog start, Juno start, presets.
Mhm.
So that's cool, but a simple initialized preset is really more than welcome. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's have a look at the types of oscillators that we have. So we have the
Mhm.
so this is the basic analog style oscillator. Is that correct?
Exactly, that's the only oscillator that you got basically, and then you have text to wavetable and that's really cool, resynthesize preset to wavetable. So you can resynthesize the whole preset to a single wavetable and continue from there, which is kind of never heard of it. So yeah, there's some really basic shapes. Oh, and by the way, there's a really cool editor which I'm not gonna touch into because it's really difficult.
So I feel like this is probably similar to Operator, where you can draw the harmonics manually and create the waveform like that. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you can do these, move this one here. And not pace shift, maybe
that's so deep, man. Like where are we now? Like what did we get into? Like,
that's the basic oscillate base, not basic, but that's how you create your own wavetables.
Exactly.
And I think it's amazing how you can do that. You just, for example, right now, just basically what you can do is go here and you just change it. I don't remember how to, but yeah, you can just okay. That's, for example, the how you can make those are the harmonics, and then you made your image. And this is saved, so then it morphs from one and another.
Wow. Okay. So it's like the Operator additive section on steroids, as far as I can tell.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
A bit more advanced because you have effects that you can put like these, and that's gonna fold wave and all of that, which I'm not gonna touch it.
That's some crazy stuff for really sound design nerds. It's not really for I don't know, for beat makers or people who just want to play. But I guess if you purchase the presets, I think it should still be able to provide that, right? Because because let's not kid ourselves. Most people just want good quality presets. They just want to find the right preset, play, record, and then be done with it. Maybe tweak the filter a bit,
Yeah. I'm totally down for that. That's macros that lets you tweak the sound however you want. And it's a responsibility of the sound designer, which is another thing that I do most of the time, to set these macros so then people can change the sound and make it another one that they like. And that's really important. If you feel some sounds are unplayable, that's not your fault. It's the sound designer fault. And obviously, if the genre doesn't match, and if you wanna have, and what he does is different. So yeah, as you can see,
let's listen to some waveforms. Yeah.
so really
so what did
simple.
you do? So what did you do with that slider? What was that?
Here.
Yeah, what's that?
This is basically changing the waveform. Because as you can see, those are all wavetable, and wavetable has positions. So one of them just has, I think it's 8 position. So yeah, and morphing. So you can morph between them without aliasing, and that's what he was praising about.
So I guess that was the feature, that like the way that you can bend the waveforms, that is that one of the features that, but you can do that in wavetable, Ableton's wavetable too, and you can do that in Serum too. So it's not something uncommon, but
then you have these 2 effects, which I really like. And those are basically taken from Zebra, because I used Zebra, and those are basically the same effects. And you have, for example, a low pass on the oscillator.
What does that can you like explain do you feel like what do you achieve by having filters and effects on the oscillator? Because then you have them obviously in the filter module and on the effect section. So what's the purpose of that? Do you feel like it contributes in any way?
Yes, because you can filter every single oscillator with a different thing. So basically, a really simple example. Okay, let's initialize that. And now we have 2. When you put the low pass, it's so cool that I don't know if people knows that, but simply every single waveform, when you low pass that to the fundamental, you got a sine wave.
That's something good to explain to people who are not so much into sound designs. But yeah, basically every sound can be broken down into sine waves.
Exactly.
And if you low pass filter the harmonics, you actually get a sine wave. Yeah. And maybe that's a good reason why a lot of analog synths don't even have a sine wave in their oscillator, because you can easily get close to a sine wave.
You actually got the point, and there's another reason, because hardware synthesis doesn't have a sine wave.
You mean analog? You mean analog?
Yeah. The only thing, it's a triangle wave.
And you're right, like the base station has a sine wave, but it doesn't really sound so clean as a sine wave that's generated by a digital synth. It's
basically a sawtooth wave filtered.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
But as you know, right? You cannot filter like with brick wall filter. Brick wall filters that doesn't exist in reality, so they just all have some harmonics left. It's too nerdy for this video, but
it is. Let's hear some more. Let's try to build a sound. Like
So no, what you were asking before is what's the reason about having.
Oops, I think we lost. Yeah, I think we lost you for a second. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. So basically, what you can do with these low-pass filters on the oscillators is that we can actually make a pretty cool pad sound, for example. So let's try this. Let's make them really. And right now we have the 2 oscillators, right? Basically, what we are doing right now is just, filtering one oscillator and then the other. I know it's really stupid as a sound, but, you get the point.
It's not stupid, man. It sounds pretty good, actually. I like it.
So basically... Yeah,
can I just ask? So you basically just drag and drop the modulator onto something that you want to modulate, right?
Sorry, I didn't explain that. Yeah. That's the best part of this synth is the how you modulate stuff. So basically, you see, you have these, violet stuff, and you can actually just drag the LFO on whatever lights up, and just use that. And what you do is just, move these things. I
think Massive pioneered, like the original Massive. I think they pioneered this type of approach.
Exactly. Yes.
Which is very good because on such a complex synth, every visual aspect helps you comprehend it a lot better because it's so deep.
And
Cool.
obviously you have, okay, let's reinitialize the presets. And you have the best, I think it's the best feature you can have. So let's try, for example, a simple, saw wave and a filter. Okay, let's use the LFO to the filter. Cool, right? It's a simple sound. What we can do is just click on the modulation, and you can either click make bipolar, which is LFOs basically in this sense what works in unipolar way. Stop me if I'm getting into too many nerdy stuff.
Yes, you are. I understand what you're saying, but yes, you are getting kind of into a very
okay. Let's show only the cool stuff. Yeah. So the pretty cool thing about the LFOs is just you can make stereo, and then basically.
How does that? What's doing that?
So basically, it's making the LFOs goes into a stereo mode, which left and right channel are different.
Okay. So the phase of the LFO is different for the left and the right channel. I think it's kind of there's something similar in Ableton's LFO that they have on the auto filter with the phase option. Not exactly. Yes. I think it's pretty similar.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Is. That's cool. That's cool.
It's just cool that we have it here. Actually.
Yeah, let's try building. Let's try building this sound a bit more, and after that, maybe showcase the speech thing because that's really crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so for example, we have a lot of different filters that we can choose. So dirty. Let's put some resonance. And then you got into this. This is the cool stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's not a pretty simple synth, but if you want to use it really simple, it just makes so much sense to me, because he has all the really cool stuff that you can use one by one and make a cool sound. For example, you have the phaser as a filter.
Do we have the unison enabled so we can test the claim that the unison doesn't melt your CPU?
Let's do that.
I bet it will melt your CPU, but let's hear that.
Probably mine, yeah.
Okay.
Let's try with 16 voices. No, it doesn't. Amazing.
I think. Awesome, man, awesome.
So obviously you have all this cool. It doesn't stop here. You can make a major chord, a minor.
So you basically have preset chords on the unison. So that's a really easy way to make one finger patches that just press one key and it sounds.
Exactly.
Yeah,
or you can obviously do that with another cool thing that I'm gonna show you. Let me show you another thing, which is. Let me know if I'm going too fast, but I just want to show.
You're not.
Okay, so let's do. For example, what this does is transpose snap. Okay, so when you apply an LFO to, let's just apply an LFO to the pitch. Easy, right? What you can do with this transpose snap.
Okay.
So the cool thing is.
So let me explain for people who might be wondering what's going on.
Yes.
As far as I can tell, this feature actually makes the modulation for the pitch of the oscillator
Yes.
avoid pitches that
Yes.
are outside of this scale that you're actually
Exactly.
assigning to the oscillator with this
Exactly.
with this feature. Do they have presets for different scales or something, or do you need
no,
to?
you need to, because that's not a scale per se. If you can see, like, it starts from C, and it's a minor thing, right? I just painted the minor scale.
Yeah, but then again, it's something again for a bit more advanced users, because if it was geared towards beginners mainly, they would probably be preset scale. So you need to know your music theory in order to use this feature in a really useful manner.
In a useful way, yeah. No, I know. It's not that easy, but in the end, you can just look up in the internet and see major scale or something.
Yeah, for sure.
What you can do is actually snap the scale to only these notes. So if you see, when I let's use an easier. Okay. So if you see, if I change the key that I'm playing, it transposes the whole thing. So this scale get transposed.
Okay, right.
What I did on the last presets was global snap. So those are the only notes that are allowed. So basically, I'm using. And it's still playing C minor. But what you can do now, it's use another oscillator, and that's more advanced than using ARP. So you see, basically, one oscillator is not arpeggiating. And there's no way to do that in other sense.
And the other is,
it's fixed.
That's like this is something I like to do with Ableton's tracks. It's kind of pretty easy to do with those, but it's cool to have it inside.
Exactly, because then you can use the same filter, for example. For both. So that's what created that sound, basically. If you wanna hear.
Yeah, can you? So awesome stuff, bro. Awesome stuff.
Yeah. That's what I was trying before, but that was pretty advanced.
Okay,
so let's talk about this text to
exactly
speech, right?
Exactly what I was getting to. Let's try So can you explain what this feature is? Because I'm not really sure how does it use the text? What?
So basically what it does, it uses text to speech service online, and it just inputs and it inputs the text on that text to speech, and then basically when it gets the wave back, it just transforms that into a wavetable. It's basically like putting a vocal into wavetable of Ableton.
But that means it doesn't work if you don't have an internet connection.
I think so.
That's a surprise. Yeah. That's a surprise for me.
I think that's the only thing that works with the internet connection on this end. But let's write something. What do you want to write?
Well, I think
pizza today.
I think it was pizza in your clip that you sent me. Let's go with the pasta. I think we need to round it up with Italian food. So
let's do that. Okay. So basically, what you need to do right now, you have the wavetable. Oh, that's a cool thing. Yeah. You can actually see it like wavetable, in Ableton in 3D.
Right.
So basically what you do is just automate the wavetable to go through the end. And let's just use, obviously for the LFOs, not obviously, but, that's a cool feature. For the LFOs, they have some presets,
So as far as I can tell, you basically write down a word that you want this robotic voice to pronounce.
Yes.
And then you need to modulate the wavetable position to actually get the whole word. Because actually, otherwise you get only the beginning, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Man, let's stop that because it's almost dinner time in Italy. So
No worries, man. We'll be done in a second, man. I know you want to get to your pasta. I know how it goes. Man. Cool stuff, bro. That's kind of. But that's really it's a really outstanding feature. Arturia Micro Freak has something similar, but it's very preset. I mean, you can't really change much. Because it's not connected to the internet, obviously. So
sure. Obviously, you know.
Also, you can drag and drop samples directly from Ableton's browser. That's pretty neat, actually.
Pitch wavetable, vocoder, and pitch splice.
So what does pitch splice do?
Let's. Okay, I'm doing a drum loop, obviously, so it's gonna be messed.
You're on some Aphex Twin stuff now.
So you see, like, really the possibilities are infinite. Let's load up a basic shape and drop another into vocoder mode. It sounds a bit different as before, and then you can load it in, obviously, wavetable. But obviously,
that's crazy, man. So you can load, like, it's not just a synthesizer, it's just a sound mangling tool. You can load anything into it and use it in a variety of ways, and you can apply effects and process the sound in ways that are not really that common. Maybe they're available elsewhere with some more advanced tools, maybe like Max for Live or Reactor or stuff. But this is available in just not a simple plugin, but it's a plugin, so it's pretty accessible compared to some of the more advanced tools. So
as I told you in the beginning, it's really, really like intricate, and it can be intimidating at first. But I think when you get the hold out of that and you explore one single element at the time, I think this is not like the best beginner synth to reply to your first question, because there's too many things. But if you already know how synthesis works, then maybe there can be a really cool advanced stuff when you want to get into something that's not, you know, Diva or Repro as you have, because they are really limited to what you can do. And to me, limitation are the best things in the world. And whatever, but then some days you just want to explore, and you just want to.
I feel like having something like Repro or Diva or Monarch, which are focused on analog emulation, it's cool to have that because you can't replace that with this. But having one of those and having this type of synth, which is more digital, more experimental, and more like versatile, I think it's a good. I think it's a good combination, and as you say, it's not really great for beginners, but from what I've seen, I think it's up there with the Serums, with the Massives, with the Equators, with the Arturia's Pigments, which is another very, very popular one. I think it's up there, and it's a really compelling option because you just download it and you just go nuts. I mean, there's like
I still don't think there's any. I don't think it's a replacement for any of those synths. But you know, you either choose to go with the free Vito or spend €200 on Serum or something. So for me, if you just want something that gives you inspiration, just download that for free. See if you like it. See if you don't like the sounds. Maybe probably don't judge a synth by its preset, because it's the worst thing you can do. So try to explore most of the synths. You know, just load the initialized patches as we did right now and tweak some 2 or 3 stuff. As you can see, like, it sounds cool even with a single fist and a simple oscillator. It's not bad sounding.
Yeah, and actually, from what I can see, everything is laid out really well. And if you've used a synthesizer before, I think most people would be able to get around at least the basic features. Maybe not like the part where you build your wavetables. That's crazy. That's crazy nerdy stuff. But this page that we're looking at, I think it's pretty easy to comprehend what's going on. So
there's only an oscillator basically. That's it. Oh, I want to show you the last thing for the unison, because we talked about it. So let's do something simple for unison. Let's choose stack. What you can do in like wavetable is spread the different voices. So if we apply an LFO to the spreading, so you see what happened when you get into unison with this.
With like just like that. That's a crazy combination to use unison on a drum loop. Super experimental stuff. And
the cool thing is you can play that. You can play chord with drums.
That's super nice because it gives, like, when you having the drums there, it kind of gives you something rhythmic to your sound. It's not just a simple note. You just, and for instance, when you play a chord like you just did, it kind of has a rhythm goes into it. Awesome stuff, man. That's pretty amazing. Do you wanna like maybe play some more and maybe just try it over a beat like we.
Let's go.
Maybe just play the drums that you have in the project if you have them, and maybe just play some on top of them for people to listen to.
Sure.
Before we go and leave you to your pasta.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Let's find some prison. That's I don't know.
Dope.
Wow, the funk is dope. Yeah, it's really unplayable with these keys, bro. Too small.
Dude, it sounds great. Like no one would know that you were playing the small keys. Are you a mini keys hater?
I do a lot. It's not because I have really big, fingers. So I just hit six notes with a single finger. That's right. I sold the microcog for that reason, not because of the sounds. So yeah.
Don't get me started, dude. The microcore has the most awful keys, but like it's a great synth. I love it, but the keys are just atrocious.
Yeah, I know. I tried to play with the talkbox, and I remember, on the microphone there was only the sound of the keys of the microcore, not my vocals.
Exactly. Super clacky.
Yeah.
Play a couple of more before we go, and yeah.
Sure, let's try some. I don't know, some keys, maybe. Let's search for a brass. All. Let's just remove some delay and okay, that sounds cool. And just really.
So the most important question: can you make funk with it? Sure, you can.
Yes, man. Yes. You can funk with everything. But Vital is a pretty cool funky stuff. So yeah, approved.
Yeah, dude. That was like a very cool presentation, and really nice to have such a demonstration on the podcast with this synth. Everyone can just go to just search for Vital VST. It's available for a free download. I will be getting it myself to explore it, of course, since watching you play on it kind of got me excited to try it. And it will only cost me some time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's free, but you need to spend the time to get familiar with it, to learn how to use it. Not much of a preset box if you don't pay for the paid version, right?
Mm-hmm. But still, as I said, you can download the free stuff. And actually, the sound that I was playing was from the free stuff, not the original patches.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, that's a pretty cool. Those are all free.
They all sounded really good, really clean, and I would be like, maybe on later down the line when you have more presets that you've done by yourself, maybe we can check those on the podcast too, because I know you make some mean presets, man. You make some really dope preset for the type of music that you do, which is the funk. Speaking about the funk, everyone who's watching the podcast and listening to the podcast, go follow my man Mehdi on Instagram at Mehdi_music. It's linked down in the description on the video because it's spelled with a 3 before the last letter. So check out the description to follow him, because people on the channel, a lot of the followers and the subscribers, they like my music, and I'm pretty sure they will like your stuff too. Like, there is a 99% chance that they will like.
Until we release something together, right?
that will come at some point for sure. I think Zoom collaborations. I did one last week, or actually it was the beginning of this week,
Mm-hmm.
and they work pretty cool. So we can try doing that when we get the time.
Sure.
But as always, man, super thankful, so much appreciated for that you joined again on the Beats and Gear podcast and showed us this amazing synth and your skills. So it would be great to do it soon again, like not in 3 months, but maybe sooner.
Man, it's a pleasure. Like, I feel like I'm part of this podcast now, so it's cool. Let's do it whenever you want, and if people likes it, obviously.
Judging from how many people were watching it and the likes that we get, people did like it. So I think we'll be doing this. We'll be doing this again. And so, do you have like anything to say before we go?
Go check Vital.
Sure.
Buy it for free.
Sure. Totally good. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm Low Heat. This is Mehdi. This is the Beats and Gear podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Check my website, lowheatbeats.com, for sample packs and for Ableton live packs.
Oh, check his latest sample pack, because
the loop pack.
The loop pack, there's some fire in it.
Thank you, brother. And to everyone watching, have a nice day, evening, or whatever, and see you in the next video or podcast. Peace.